Did you know that 71% of the people that watch Matthew Kelly's videos are not subscribers? That makes no sense. We need to change that. Subscribe today. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and turn on those notifications so you never miss out on another great video ever again.
One of the biggest issues in our culture over the next 50 years will be addiction. Because as we have abandoned the authentic life, or even the desire to live an authentic life, as we have abandoned the integrated life, or even the desire to live an integrated life, we have abandoned the self-control. We have embraced the idea that I can be happy by doing whatever I want. And the natural consequence of that is that we do become slave to our appetites, our impulses, our whims, our fancies. And as we become slaves to our impulses and appetites, it takes more and more of whatever your thing is. It takes more and more of it to satisfy you with every passing day, week, month, year, decade. And so we see this explosion of addiction in our culture, which is a direct response in some ways to the rejection of Christianity, in some ways a direct response to the rejection of Christian thought, spirituality, and the Christian way of life. At the same time, addiction is a very serious disease, and depending on what the addiction is, the relationship between the disease component and the rejection of a valid philosophy of life can differ. The point is that there's almost no family in our society today that has not been touched by serious addiction of some type. And addiction destroys people. You know, it destroys children of God. It destroys marriages. It destroys families. It destroys children. We see it all the time. And it is one of the great destroyers of our time. And I think we need to be mindful of that. We need to be wary of it as well in our own life, because we are, as human beings, we are addiction prone, you know, and some addictions are more socially acceptable than other addictions, right? It's probably more socially acceptable to go out and have a few too many glasses of wine than it is to do cocaine. But in reality, we're abusing ourselves in very, very similar ways in both instances. And in reality, we're surrendering our self-control, we're abandoning the discipline that is required to live an authentic life and have that lasting happiness that God created us for and that we want to experience and that we want everyone we love to experience. And so I think over the next 50 years, we are going to see this continued explosion of addiction, and we are going to have to learn as individuals, as families, as church communities, as civil communities, and as a nation, we are going to have to learn how do we best love people who are in the grips of addiction? How do we help reintegrate people into society who have recovered from addiction or in the process of recovering from an addiction. And perhaps most importantly, how do we raise our children? And when I say our children, I don't mean, my children and your children. I mean our children, the children of our society, in such a way that prepares them to live a life free of radical, destructive addiction, because God didn't create us for that, and it is one of the major obstacles of our time between us and the best version of ourselves, between us and that authentic life.